Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts in the CNSL Season 7. I hope you guys like Zerg vs. Zerg. No, don't turn it off! Don't turn it off! Stay! It's going to be a fun one. We have MisO, our very aggressive Korean Zerg, going up against our pretty aggressive and kind of like very interesting, different style XiaoShuai Chinese Zerg. It's going to be a best of 3 between these two to see who advances to that round of 8. Without further ado, let's get into it. And here we go. In the top left, we have MisO. And in the top right, we have XiaoShuai. All right, so these two, you know, I think they do tend towards aggression. I have to say, I like MisO. I think he is underrated. I think he is a good player. And kind of hope for him to do well. I like to see strong, aggressive Zergs do well in these tournaments to kind of show what's possible with that Zerg aggression. But I am rooting for XiaoShuai. After watching those Zerg vs. Protoss games against DeWalt, that was so much fun. I enjoyed his style so much. I really, in my dream world, he advances and plays a strong Protoss in the round of 8 for a best of 5. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Anyways, both of them going for Overlords, so nothing too aggressive to start at least. Maybe a hatch first, maybe a pool first. And so while we wait for that to be decided, I want to thank you guys for checking out ArtosisCasts, for dropping by for the CNSL. I hope that you guys are enjoying. Yeah, and thank you. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. It's all very appreciated. And if you're staying to watch the ZVZ, that's appreciated as well. I know sometimes mirror matchups can definitely garner less interest. That is definitely something that statistically I can guarantee you is true. But, you know, it's a tournament, and every bit of this tournament is important. And it seems like Zergs are doing pretty well overall. So learning about the different ZVZ styles of players who are advancing will be useful if we hit some more ZVZs later on in that tournament. And I don't know what the round of 8 is going to look like, but we definitely could. So, yeah, it looks like we have the quicker pool. This is just, you know, Overlord into the spawning pool. So kind of like a defensive, heavier drone version here for XiaoShuai. But he's playing against hatch first. So this is advantage towards MisO. He's going to have more larva. He's going to have a beginning more defensive position. But he's going to have options for attacking as well. Since he's going to have more larvae, he definitely can flood Zerglings. I don't know if that's going to be something that he wants to try here. But yeah, those do become possibilities. That was a possibility against Hyun in our last series, in our last game. And MisO actually decided to sit back and play a more defensive game. And it really did pay off for him. So anyways, that spawning pool almost done here for MisO. We'll see if he's going to get Zergling speed or the layer. I think it's going to be layer. Yeah, layer gets started immediately. The layer a little over halfway done over here. And just a lot of Zerglings being pumped out on both sides. Yeah, I definitely like this position here for MisO a bit better. But I do wonder if he's going to get Zergling speed. And he does. He can start Zergling speed immediately at the next 100 gas. So almost certainly. Now, there is a world in which you cancel Zergling speed. Like, he's watching what's being made. Okay? And he sees, oh, second hatch. Interesting. I like that type of build. Second hatch in the main base. It's better than it looks, right? Like, it'll finish up and he'll have those extra larvae to make more mutas, more scourge, whatever it may be. And in fact, I think this is going to be like the heavy muta scourge timing thing. I've seen this before. I don't have a name for it. Heavy muta scourge timing thing. As you can see, I don't have the name for it, but maybe it has a name. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty excellent. We actually saw it in ASL last season or the season before. Can't remember exactly, but definitely is a very interesting build. I've casted a few times on the channel. You get that extra hatchery, the extra larva come in really, really well, and you supply block yourself like exactly. But we'll see if that's what it is or not. Now, Zergling speed doesn't look like it's going to be canceled. Does he? Did he cancel it? Actually, does he have any lings moving? He has no lings moving, so I actually don't know if he canceled. Regardless, the natural expansion is up, and I wonder if you're going to... Like, he didn't make many lings, so it's 21 drones to 12. XiaoShuai might be able to just bowl him over. There is a possibility. Zerg Evolution Chamber. Okay, so we're going to get those spores going. We're going to get the second gas going. Very important stuff. And there it is. 4 mutas. And actually, he's not going to hit that supply cap exactly. So it's not the exacting build that we saw in ASL. But definitely it's going to be a lot of Mutalisks coming very quickly. 3 spores going to be on the way. I'm surprised he does not have one up in this general area. I feel like the mutas are definitely going to have an opportunity up here to deal damage. Double spore at the natural makes sense. He did get that Zergling speed, by the way. Little attack from XiaoShuai. Oh my god, there's like... It's just less Zerglings, right? Just slightly. Okay, he pops some more. So actually, this is going to be really good for MisO. He has speed, so just having a few more Zerglings, he's able to knock these out. So gains a little advantage there. This is a short window where XiaoShuai may be able to make something happen. So the speedlings run off to the side. There's no sunken or anything. This looks really good for MisO right now. Really, really good. XiaoShuai comes over with his mutas. There are mutas being made here, but there's spores to help out. Yeah, I don't like this very much. Not looking good for XiaoShuai. I don't see a lot of potential for damage. Getting a couple drones. Okay, that's cool, but he's still down in drones, and it's still twice as much gas income here for MisO. Okay, a few more drones. Not bad, not bad. But that muta count is growing. Oh my gosh, it's actually 7 against 5? So XiaoShuai needs to make sure he's maximizing his damage here. Dude, XiaoShuai doing a pretty decent job, but now more mutas pop out here for MisO, but these are super low. I actually think he should have turned and done a shot there. There's 2 mutas that were about to die, and if he had targeted the right one, he could have killed 3 mutas in one shot. Oof. More Mutalisks coming out right now for XiaoShuai. I think MisO is just going to straight hold everything. Fairly certain. All right, comes up here. Okay, hits, kills a drone and forces the mutas up. He's going to try for some Zergling counter damage. I don't know if getting the evolution chamber matters even a little bit. I don't think there's any world in which you're making another spore. Yeah, everything falling on deaf ears here, unfortunately. 8 mutas against 6. These are pretty damaged as well. There are some damaged ones in there still. Plus Scourge. Comes in with another Zergling attack. He's going to try to utilize the mutas to deal some damage now as well. And MisO's just blocking everything like the pro he is. Like, there's just no damage to really be had at this point. Okay, you can see the supplies are still kind of close. And, you know, there's a drone lead, but the same supply. So, obviously, there's slightly more army here for XiaoShuai. But there's nothing left. He's got no Zergling speed. He keeps making Zerglings. And the secondary gas has really come into play. Like, you can just mass up Scourge and Muta and go. And you're going to be able to win. Because the counterattack can't win against 2 base plus Spore. Whereas you go over and you have more Scourge than they can possibly have and more Mutas than they can possibly have. So MisO should be able to finish this one off relatively quickly. And he can do it through attacking or defense. Because eventually XiaoShuai will look at this and say, yeah, they're not getting anything done. Gets a drone here and there. Still down in drones. And you just send more. Make more. You have more mining minerals. You have more mining gas. Well, I guess in this case, that's not the case. It's equal mining minerals at this point now because he's had to switch a lot over. Yeah, and this should be the end. XiaoShuai going to get chased down here with his Mutalisks. He's trying his best to make something happen, but nothing left. So he should be seeing GG and going on to game number 2. You know, better builds from MisO, and he does maintain that advantage and bring it to a victory. GG. All right, getting into our second game here in the decider match. We have in the bottom right MisO, and in the top left XiaoShuai. Okay, you know, that was, I guess, a little bit straightforward. You know, what could XiaoShuai have done there? You know, the idea of the Mutalisk attack, I mean, the Zergling attack was okay. He was maximizing his larva count to try to get enough mutas out to really hit it a nice time. But it did feel like, okay, well, I mean, you do have the second hatch. Your opponent, I guess he doesn't know if he's droning heavily or if there's going to be a little bit heavier Zerglings. Maybe there's a world in which he actually gets Zergling speed and something can happen, but the slow Zerglings, you know, unable to do anything when MisO had more Zerglings and speed. He just was able to completely punish what was going on, so that was a bit painful. Looks like we're going to have a 9 pool here from XiaoShuai. What are we going to see from Hyun? Maybe an overpool? Nope. Maybe 11 pool? Oh, is he going to go hatch first? Could be. Maybe a little XiaoShuai comeback on the way. No. Unfortunately, it is going to be a 12 pool. So 12 pool, and it's cross spawn. Advantage does go to MisO once again. He's been very good at choosing those correct build orders. And there's a little bit of mind gaming there. There is a little bit of skill to choosing what they are. I actually, here for anyone that's still sitting here watching this CBC, and thank you for doing so. I want to posit this idea I've had for a long time, where you know, there is a certain amount of mind games and mentality in choosing your build for each game, like how the series is going, what your opponent is thinking about, what you've kind of shown so far, that type of thing, right? Now, I was thinking, because sometimes you get players that really outdo their opponent with that, where they really trick them and mind game a little bit and be like, yeah, he thinks I'm going to do this because of the way the series is gone and what I've shown already, so now I do this, and it stops what he was going to do to stop what I was going to do. That type of thing, right? And a lot of top-end players, like in tournaments, that can be a really, really, really strong way to play. Now, my thought was, what if you just kind of randomize your play like, you know, someone might do in like a very high-level poker game type of thing, where it's like you don't have to mind game. You can actually, for instance, you could, before each map, assign percentage values to how often you're doing a certain build, and then roll for it or use a generator or whatever it might be, right? And with that, like, your opponent literally can't out-mind game you. You've shut the mind games down. Do you know what I mean? Let me know if you understand what I'm saying and you have an opinion on that, because that's actually, it's something that I've really been thinking about a lot. I've been thinking about incorporating into my own tournament play because it seems to make sense to me. Anyways, here we go. XiaoShuai coming down with his Zergling speed. And we have 4 drones here to try to help out MisO. MisO trying desperately to hang on here. And I think he will be able to. He's going to have a lot of larvae that are producing these extra Zerglings for him, and his Zergling speed finishing up as well. So these drones, oh, he might end up losing. Oh, no. That Zergling aggroed onto the Zerglings that just hatched, so he did not get that drone kill that he should have. Very painful, and he backs up. So same drone count right now. Layer is almost done, and there's no Spire started over here, right? So the Spire timing might be the same, but twice as much larva here. Twice as much larva. That's crazy. And does he start the Spire? Not sure what we're going to see there from MisO. Yeah, no Spire as of yet. Just a few extra Zerglings out there. Overlords see where the Zerglings are moving around. Starts up a creep colony, so XiaoShuai getting ready for a possible counterattack. So we have the 2 drone advantage for MisO, and we have that larva advantage. And we have probably 2 more Zerglings right now, and his Spire's not that slow in comparison. Definitely liking it for MisO right now. I don't see XiaoShuai doing too much. Like, tactically, it looks like he has 3 lings off to the side, so maybe waiting. Notice how his Overlord's going here. Like, maybe he wants to spot the Zerglings moving out, and then he counterattacks with 3, goes back, defends with these, and then goes into mutas, something like that. And if he gets a couple drones, maybe he feels like that's the key to victory. Gets his creep colony actually morphing here into a sunken in case of counterattack. Lots of lings coming down from XiaoShuai. Maybe that's the play. Bring in his Zerglings. He is making 3 mutas. We just have some Scourge being made. 5 drone advantage right now. Pretty large. XiaoShuai attacking in. But it looks like MisO going to be able to hold that off pretty easily overall. Only 3 Zerglings end up surviving. His Scourge are popping out, so that's going to be annoying to try to micro against while you're microing your lings. Look at this. They're just barely not catching him. And it seems to me like XiaoShuai has almost no real outs left this game. Okay, let's try to count mutas, right? So 3 for XiaoShuai and 2 more on the way. 4 with 2 more on the way. Not looking super hot right now. Also has those Scourge out. XiaoShuai trying to get some damage on Overlord. MisO has his secondary gas. What we might see with this very low economy is just put 2 to 3 drones in that gas and mass Scourge up. That's a pretty popular way to enforce a victory in a situation like this. You get so many Scourge that they can't really do much. You're just moving shot your mutas on their mutas, and you clone Scourge off. So they can't actually turn to fight your mutas. And if they try, the Scourge connect. And that becomes very dirty very quickly. All right, a little bit of harassment there. I like the idea. 6 mutas. That is against 7 mutas right now. So again, if MisO can get on top of these, he should be able to end the game. Some more coming across. You know, I guess if you deny your opponent mining their gas, it's a good idea from XiaoShuai to just focus on this area. Because if your opponent isn't mining his extra gas, the advantage is much, much smaller. Yeah, still a Mutalisk advantage. And we are closer to these hatcheries as well. Yeah, I did hear that hit. I believe that was upon XiaoShuai's mutas. 7, 6. More Scourge coming up. XiaoShuai really looking for that damage. He needs that damage. I like the tactics, right? He's coming in, trying to do hit and runs, and MisO caught him that time coming back, and he thought MisO probably rotated more. So that's going to be game. XiaoShuai just doesn't have anything left over. And MisO, very, very good micro, killing off the Scourge as well. GG. And that means that this group is over. DeWalt and MisO end up advancing. XiaoShuai and Hyun not quite strong enough. That is going to do it for Group D. Only Group A remains. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.